Yeah, I was making another video right quick following this concept of me getting everything I want and these people being like, no, get that out of here. No, we don't want that. Right? Okay, so here are the ways that they stop it. One of the ways they do it is by, and it's under the conditions that I'm doing nothing wrong. One of the ways that they do is they say, you're too old. And what you're too old does is it makes what you're doing feel awkward with this vague suggestion that there's something that you're supposed to be doing instead. Yet this thing that you're supposed to be doing is always unrealistic. It's always like, you're supposed to be dying on a field somewhere for the country. There's nothing you can say here, you died. Okay, so here's what they do. They imply that you're too old and now you're held to a higher standard and therefore can no longer enjoy yourself without it being approved by them. So what they're really saying is you're too old not to be approved by me and what you're doing. Let me stir my macaroni right quick. Now, another thing they do is they say that it's fair, that it's unfair, that it's wrong. And what this does is it makes what you're doing feel like it's wrong to do it. And what'll happen over time is if you can't beat these arguments, if you still feel guilty, if you're still insecure, every time you want to do what you want, it'll always manifest conceptually as you doing something wrong in order to do it, so that they can say, see, it's wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. See. And this is kind of the same thing that goes into that. You can't spend your life just like making art. You have to do something. Yeah. And what that is, if you're insecure, then it'll manifest as like, if you do what you want, you won't be able to take care of yourself because you are struggling to prove them wrong, right? And so like, let's say you just want to spend your life making comics. You want to spend your life screaming, right? And what these people do is they'll say, you can't do that. Is that all you want to do with your life? What the hell? And if you're insecure, then it'll manifest as if you keep doing what you want, then you won't be able to take care of yourself. You won't be able to pay your bills and stuff like that. That's what they do. Another thing they do is whenever they say that it's not fair, that it's wrong, what they're saying is, if you don't stop here, we're just going to say that it's wrong anyway, and we're going to mash you in a bad direction. And what that means is they're going to push you into something less. They're going to push you into being broke. They're going to push you into being a drug addict. They're going to push you into being a creep, a pervert. They're going to push you into being a lot of things just so they can say, see, we told you it was wrong, and they're not going to listen to you. And here's where they have that authority. I need to turn my news. I need to turn the macaroni down. Their authority occurs in the condition that we don't want to violate anyone else's understanding of what's happening. Because we agree that in order for something to occur, it has to make sense to someone's perception, or else it can corrupt them and violate their thinking. Now, there are some bad doers who are intelligent enough to understand this, but have created a sort of loophole in that they all, even though they understand that it's possible, if it's not what they want, they'll say, I can't understand it. And what this does is it limits us, it forces us, it obligates us to keep trying to help them understand it. And once we're in this position where we're within their comprehension, because anytime someone doesn't understand something, we go to their mindset to try and figure out how to get it back to what it is we're doing. And so once you're in that mindset, they pretty much have control by saying, no, I still don't understand it. No, I still don't understand it. And once you're in this condition, if you just decide that you still want to do it anyway, then they can say, you violated the rule, you did something wrong, now it's wrong, now you guys are doing something wrong, now we can push you into being broke, push you into being creeps, push you into being perverts, push you into being sluts, push you into horrible fucking lives, right? And this whole thing, and that's what all this whole conflict has been. It's been, you said everyone needs to understand it or it's bad. I still don't understand it because I don't want it. No, you understand it. You just don't fucking want it. There's a huge difference. You understand it. You understand it. You just don't want it. So fuck you. I don't care. Fuck you. So yeah. Oh, here's the thing. There's another thing that they do. They put themselves in the way. So here we have a concept that's flowing smoothly. There's nothing wrong with it. But they say, I don't want that, which must mean that I don't understand it somehow, technically, right? And so they put themselves in the way. But here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with this, so they don't need to be there. And so we decide, hey, you need to go. You don't need to be here. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? When you're here, it becomes wrong. It becomes messed up. Concepts are added to it that make it a wrong thing to do. But when you're not here, it's perfectly fine. We're all happy. We're all enjoying it. Nobody's getting hurt. Nobody's being cheated. Nobody's being exploited. When you're here, all that starts because you don't want it, right? And so what these guys do is we say, hey, we're going to mask to get you removed because you don't need to be there. And they say, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. And what they do is they keep going until eventually the only thing left for them to go through. And it's not us. We're doing the right thing. We're masking them out. They don't want to participate. They don't want to be here. Fine, go. What they do is they say, the only way you can move me is if you physically remove me, if you harm me. But here's the thing. They have us in a bit of a Joker stance here, where if we harm them, then we've done something wrong for what we want. And therefore, as they want, what we're doing is now wrong. But here's the thing. If you know that you shouldn't be there, that we're doing nothing wrong, and we're not touching you, you're just dying. You're only dying because you would not get out of the way of something that had no reason to stop. You put yourself in harm's way, and there is no reason for it to stop. This is like somebody who doesn't like trains going out every fucking day and jumping in front of trains to try and stop them and saying if they don't stop in time, then trains are bad. You guys can't ride trains anymore because this train wouldn't stop for me. Eventually, somebody's gonna fucking be like, hey, just run that nigga over. Let's just see what happens. And that's what this is. Stop putting yourself in front of these situations to try and make trains bad. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. And don't G-cab this and try and make it about sexual trains. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. I'll kill you. And I'm not even killing you for that. I'm killing you because you're purposely attacking me. Don't do that shit, okay? Saying that if something's in motion and there's nothing wrong with it and you put yourself in the way to make something wrong with it, because here's the thing, as I've said, when you decide that you don't want something, that means that you don't like it, and so more concepts that you don't like are being added to it. But you can't just say, I don't like that you guys are happy, because it makes you a little bitch. So what you do is you say, what you guys are doing is wrong. And what that does is it adds the concept of us doing something wrong to it. And if we're insecure because we follow the rule of not trying to violate anybody else's understanding because we don't want them aping out, we don't want them freaking out, we don't want them having a panic attack, losing their understanding of existence, then it forces us to obligate ourselves to try and to communicate it to you until you reach understanding. But if we see that you have no intention of reaching understanding and are just using that loophole to take advantage of us, then buddy, get out of the way, because we're not stopping. That's all it is. And for all of those who are afraid, these guys, they'll do the same where they'll trap you. They'll say, yeah, but we'll just keep masking you until being a bad life. You want to do that, right? Well, that's what you are, right? Well, go be that then. And they'll force you to do it in ways that you don't want. And that's the difference. When you were doing it in ways that were acceptable, ways that you wanted. When they want you to do it, they're forcing you to do it in ways that are unacceptable so that they can judge you and attack you for doing it. And so the thing is, you're still right. You're not doing anything wrong. Mass. That means that in a game of chicken, they're wrong, you're right. Keep going, and they will eventually crash, whereas you will keep going. Especially when you got guys like me on your side. So don't do anything wrong. Don't do anything wrong. And don't be insecure to these people. Here's the thing. These guys' authority, remember, is that they don't understand something. Even if they're not doing it on purpose, their authority is that they don't understand something. And so once again, I do this. I'm like, life is infinite. Life is infinite. It all works out. Even if you think of like a physical construct that can't exist without the rest of what I'm saying. I'm infinite. I go inside of these guys' mindset. Oh, here I am. I'm infinite. I go inside these guys' mindset. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'll think like you for a second. All right, how do I get back to infinite from where you're thinking, right? And then I'll push through their limitation like that. I'll just go and I'll be like, oh my God. But then there's some guys that understand that I try to stay ethical by not violating people's understanding as best as I can. And so not only do they say life is limited, because they figured this out. They say, I refuse to let you change my mind. And what this means is now I'll never understand it, and so it'll always be wrong for you to get what you want. No, it won't, nigga. I'll kill you. Fuck you, nigga. I'll kill you. Die, nigga. Get out of the way. That's what that shit is. Fuck you, nigga. I'm having a good fucking time. I was being helpful, and you want to take advantage of that shit? Fuck you. Okay, my noodles are done. I gotta go.